Then we have Matthew, who is also Levi the tax collector. Now, his background is that he's a former tax collector from Capernaum and is the author of the Gospel of Matthew. In fact, Matthew was named after Matthew, and we've seen that he was a tax collector, which was a group of sect who were hated by the Jews for their impious tax. When Jesus found Levi collecting tax, he just called him, "Come," and he came. So we learned that it was a symbol of transformation just instantly, and that's how some people get saved. They're just called instantly and they get saved. Tradition says he was either speared to death or martyred in Ethiopia or Persia. And we know that this guy, he ministered widely in Africa and especially Ethiopia and the Middle East. Do you know that the entire Islamic world in Middle East, Qatar, Saudi Arabia, Qatar, all these countries is where Christianity first began. Then we have Thomas or Didymus. I'm sure everyone knows this disciple. He is known as the doubting Thomas for questioning Christ's resurrection. When Christ resurrected, it was Didymus or Thomas who questioned his resurrection, and he said that he cannot believe until he puts his hands on where the marks of Christ Jesus were. And we know his traits: he was loyal and bold, according to John chapter 11 verse 16. And later he became strong in faith after he had known that it was Jesus who had resurrected. And his death, he was pierced with a spear in India while praying. And his legacy, he evangelized in India. Many Indian Christians trace their roots to him. The ninth disciple is James the Less, or the son of Alphaeus. Remember, there were two James. James the Greater, the brother of John, and we have James the Less, the son of Alphaeus. And we don't know, but he is possibly a relative of Jesus, who is quite and less known. We don't know so much about him. And his traits is that he is distinguished from James the Greater by the title Less, likely younger or smaller. His death is that he was thrown from the temple pinnacle in Jerusalem, then beaten to death. When he refused to die, he was drawn from the pinnacle of the temple in Jerusalem. When he refused to die, he was stoned to death, was beaten to death. And tradition has it that he was known for deep devotion and purity. James, the son of Alphaeus, or James the Less. Then we have Thaddeus, Jude, or the son of James. Thaddeus, Jude, or the son of James. His background, he was also called Lebbeus, possibly the author of Jude, the shortest book in Bible, Jude. It has only one chapter, and which tells us who is Michael the Archangel. He is possibly the writer, and his trait is that he asked Jesus why he reveals himself only to his disciples in John chapter 14 verse 22. So that's the only time we only hear of Jude. And his death, he was clubbed or axed to death in Persia. That's how he died. And tradition has it that together with Simon the Zealot, they evangelized together, but he was killed in that manner. Then that takes us to the next guy, Simon the Zealot. Simon the Zealot was a member of the Zealots, which was a Jewish political group. So that's why he was called Simon the Zealot. And his traits before meeting Christ was that he was radical before Christ. He transformed into a faithful disciple after meeting Christ. So he left the political class to join Jesus. And we also learned that he was martyred in Persia, and he was sawn in half or crucified. So Simon the Zealot died in Persia either by being crucified or being cut in half. And tradition said that he preached alongside Jude in hostile regions. And then we have Judas Iscariot. We know that Judas Iscariot, or the betrayer, he was the treasurer of the disciples, and he betrayed Jesus for 30 silver coins. And his trait is that he was greedy, he was dishonest, and he fulfilled prophecy of betrayal. And his death, he was by suicide, by hanging after remorse. He died by hanging himself by suicide after feeling remorseful for betraying innocent blood, which died. And this is recorded in Matthew chapter 27 verse 5. in Acts chapter 1 verse 18. And he was replaced by Matthias. So the last disciple, Matthias, who was a replacement of Judas Iscariot, he was chosen by the Lord among the 120 believers. So Matthias, the 120 people, but out of the 120, Matthias was chosen. And straight he was a faithful follower from John's baptism to Christ's ascension, and he was stoned and beheaded in Jerusalem or Ethiopia. So the last disciple, that is manner of his death. He carried on the apostolic work after Judas' fall. So that is how Matthias died. These men were not perfect, but after Christ died, they became faithful people, and they died for their faith. And that, my friend, is also going to repeat very soon in the near future. Will you stand for Christ and what he stood for? That is a question which will be left asking for yourself. Will you leave everything in this world for the honor of dying for Christ and suffering? If that is your goal, my friend, please like this video, comment, let me know what are your thoughts, share. I'm sure your friends will find this video helpful. It will also help with the algorithm to grow this channel. And as usual, I'll see you Wednesday for another biblical Bible-based questions. Until then, all the best. Bye-bye.